Hi, I'm Caitlin Keenahan. Welcome to the Open Minds, Open Spaces Town Hall in celebration of Lights On After School. And a special welcome to after-school program leaders, young people, and champions from 10 states gathered here live to honor the incredible work being done in after school.
And I'm Ivory Ward. After-school programs have truly meant the moment in this challenging year during this pandemic. After schools have exceeded expectations, stepping up to meet the needs of children, youth, and families. After-school programs have cared for children of essential workers. They have offered in-person and virtual program and activities. They have provided meals and emotional support. After-school is truly making a difference in communities across these states.
The after-school networks in your states have joined together to support you in helping young people thrive.
We're students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Arizona State University. After-school programs have been an essential part of our learning and have shaped who we are today. For me specifically, it allowed me to develop strong social skills and gave me a place where I felt like I truly belong. I was a part of many after-school programs such as basketball, volleyball, and track. These programs taught me to know what hard work really means. I don't believe that I could learn anything or any of those skills anywhere else. In fact, all three programs sparked my interest and love to being a journalist today. Although I didn't completely stick to my plan of being a sports journalist or a D1 athlete, it opened my eyes to so much more journalism has to offer, which is why I'm here today.
I completely agree. I cannot express how much adoration I have for my high school's after-school programs. At that point in my life, those programs were my entire world. I was a member of GTV, our television program, and the student newspaper. I started with GTV as an editor, then grew into a reporter, and eventually an anchor. The program had around 30 students, and I was blessed to be voted the president for my senior year. The after-school activities are what pointed me toward my major in journalism.
Caitlin and I are so honored to be a part of the celebration. Here's what's going to happen. We'll be talking to youth and after-school program leaders about what's working and why they care about after school. And we're going to hear from some special champions from each of the 10 states, celebrating how after-school programs help support learning, social and emotional development, and building workforce skills.
After the program, you are invited to join a state rally with champions and after-school leaders from your state. Links to the individual state rallies can be seen at the address on your screen. And now, get ready to celebrate the power of after school. There are some pretty important people who know and champion the power of after school. We're grateful for their leadership, their support, and their willingness to speak up for children when it matters most. Let's watch a few messages from these incredible after-school champions now.
Hi, my name is Helena Torres, and I proudly represent Assembly District 3 here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hi, my name is Sheree Wood, Mayor of South Salt Lake, Utah.
In a former life, I was a music teacher and in a public school and a school board member. And I really realized that these programs are really critically important to kids and to their communities.
When I was younger, my parents instilled in me the value of hard work and community service. I was constantly involved in after-school programs. I think the first after-school program that I was involved in was Speech and Debate, and that was a program that transformed my life. Speech and Debate took a shy 7th grader or 8th grader, and it transformed me into somebody that was assertive and passionate and knew what she wanted to see within her community.
We did not have after-school programs when I was growing up in South Salt Lake. As my older sons were growing up and going to school, I saw the struggles that they had. I saw the struggles that their school, their teachers were having, and had the opportunity to think of municipal government differently. I did realize that it was my role to implement something that would help these families.
I think now more than ever we need to support after-school programs because it provides a safe place for kids to go after school. Research shows that parents with after-school support are more productive at work, they miss fewer days, and children who attend after-school programs do better in class, and they're more likely to graduate from high school.
After-school programs are vital to the success of students throughout our nation. The reason that I think after-school programs are so important. It's just because it allows for you to have the opportunity to try new things, find what you like, find what you don't like, and hopefully open doors and careers. I didn't know that I'd ever want to run for office, and I don't think as a young person that I imagined that I would desire to be a legislator. But through my involvement in speech and debate programs here locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, I knew that I wanted to continue to advocate and be a voice for my community, and I had that experience through speech and debate.
There's a program called the 21st Century Initiative, which I support. It works with local communities, provides before school, after school, summer break programs for kids who attend in high poverty schools. It gives resources to families who cannot afford child care and gives them a place that's safe and educational to send their children to. It also offers kids the opportunity to participate in activities that may not be offered by the school, activities that are near and dear to my heart, art and music, and then also computer classes. But I would say probably just as important as that is you've got to have a facility that kids want to go to.
Today we have 14 community centers. 7 of those are in schools, and 7 of those are in community spaces. So that means any youth that's in the city of South Salt Lake has a community center in their neighborhood, hopefully within walking distance. I support after-school programs because I have personally seen what they can do to change a child's life as a mom and as a community advocate for our youth.
When I was growing up, my parents were here. Now it is the exception, not the rule, that you have a parent home when the kid gets home. Why? Because both parents are usually working, trying to make ends meet. So I think it's really critically important that we have options for kids to be able to go and provide a safe place for kids to be able to learn and to play and learn how to get along with others, which is maybe more important today than it's ever been in this country's history. So I just see the tremendous benefits that after-school programs have, and in today's society, I think they're absolutely necessary.
Sonia Galavis once said, "The end of all education should surely be service to others." And I truly believe that it's important that we teach in our education system throughout our nation that education is the act of giving back. I got into education because I wanted to enrich my community and empower my community to have a voice. And I truly believe that education gives students the tools to have that voice in our community.
The best after-school programs incorporate youth voice and honor the needs, hopes, and desires of young people in their design and execution. In this chaotic time, the most incredible after-school programs have listened to the young people in their communities and made the pivot to meet their needs directly. One thing is for certain, after-school programs simply change lives. Today, we have young people sharing what their after-school programs mean to them. These stories are powerful, engaging, and a wonderful testament to everything you do to support after-school programs.
Hello, my name is Rowan Ali. I'm a senior here at Foss High School in Tacoma, Washington.
Hi, my name is Gemini Kalani Le'iopi Anamaka. I'm a senior at Nanakuli High and Intermediate in Waianae, Hawaii.
Hello, I'm Noah Shaw from Murray, Utah, and I'm in the 8th grade.
Hi, my name is Savaya Lim. I am a senior at Meridian High School, and I live in Idaho.
I am very involved in after-school programs. Some of the programs I'm involved in is the Mayor's Youth Commission of Tacoma, Summer Jobs 253, also clubs within schools such as College Bound Success Foundation.
I go to this weaving club. It's called Napua o Nanakuli, translates to the flowers of Nanakuli. The main thing we do is we weave a lot of products, and we also go on trips to learn more about the Aina and the culture.
Currently, I am taking musical theater as a class, and then after school, I have the awesome opportunity to be in plays. Right now, I am participating in the play Emma.
So I'm in the Miller Family Boys and Boys and Girls Club. We do free time where I get to hang out with my friends, which is really fun. And then we go up and do power hour where I get that good one-on-one time with my staff. And then when we do that, then we just do activities, which it might be physical activities where that's really good for us, or it's mental activities where we're learning about things that we probably didn't know before.
What I love the most about these after-school programs is they really give me a space to interact with students all over the county and all over the district, and it gives me a place to put my passions and my skills to use other than my academics.
What made me excited and interested in weaving was mainly my culture. I wanted to learn more about the culture since weaving was also part of the culture. Weaving is my main interest in the group, but aside from weaving, it's definitely seeing my friends and especially my teachers.
What I love most about theater is it gives me a purpose, and it's so fulfilling. I mean, you're working every day after school, 3 hours a day, memorizing lines, and it's just a lot of work, but being able to stand on stage and sing your heart out and share this experience with the audience and your cast, and just knowing that all of your hard work is worth it. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're feeling the audience and they're laughing at you and crying, it's just amazing to know that you've created something through all that hard work.
What I love most about Boys and Girls Club is probably the one-on-one time I get with staff and with friends. Like during school, I don't really get that because, I'm doing my work and trying to keep my grades up, but at club, we're doing fun activities. I love it more than anything in the world. I feel so safe here, and it's just my second home, so I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I've been able to meet a lot of different people from different walks of life that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to meet and interact with. Different religions and views and things like that has been awesome to be able to step out of my little bubble of my circle and meet people and interact with them and learn about their beliefs and their passions.
It takes the tension off of trying to be the best and trying to get the highest numbers, and really just trying to come together for something that's been on our minds that we want to change, and really just exploring things that we never thought that we could have had an input and change, and just getting more involved with your youth and your state. I think that's what after school programs really give to us, is that they give us a free space to be involved and to really expand all of our interests without having the pressure of trying to be the best.
What I do get during the after school program is the independent skills that I have now, especially the communicative skills. During actual school hours, we feel pressured, or at least I feel pressured to do my work like at a certain time, and it's like rushed. But when we're in an after school program, especially when we're weaving, I don't feel as pressured as I would do in an actual class, since it's like independent work. And it also teaches us how to, it's like an entrepreneur type feeling. We are an entrepreneur group, and I guess it helps me to like focus more on what I'm trying to work on individually than to feel pressured by the competition I have around it.
Being able to participate specifically in an after-school program instead of just in class has really, you're with people who are passionate about the same things as you, and you're there because you want to be there, and so you're putting your work and your learning. When you put time and effort into things, you'll get something out of it.
What I get from club that I don't get at school is probably that one-on-one time with teachers, and just being active, because yes, I have gym class, but that's not always being active and being able to learn what I don't already know. So it's pretty cool.
They taught us about how to take care of our money, what bank institution to put it in, what a credit card is, what a debit card is.
I've learned a lot of awesome leadership skills. I'm drama club president. If I can just help people feel welcome and help them feel heard, if we're all being kind to each other, we're gonna accomplish so much more in a workspace.
We learned about certain mental disorders, which I thought was really fascinating. So now I want to major in psychology and do other different things, including that. And I probably wouldn't have ever known that if it wasn't for club.
They helped me step out of my shell. They helped me step out of my comfort zone, and they helped me really use my voice. And what I learned is that to be heard and to be seen in a group of children, especially in a group of students that all have great potential, you have to get involved in the conversation. You have to raise your hand, you have to ask questions.
I've struggled with mental health, depression, and anxiety since I was 11. And so being able to, especially sophomore year, I was really in a dark place. But I was cast in Anastasia, and it was something to distract me and to keep me going. When there was nothing else to get me out of bed in the morning, I would get up because I knew that these people who cared about me, my cast, they were relying on me to show up, to be there, to give it my all. And another thing is you can't perform with F's. And so it was something to keep me to get my schoolwork done. I knew that my cast was relying on me to get a C or get, whatever grade. And so it gave me a purpose, and it gave me something to channel all that into in a positive way.
Club is like my second home, so whenever I'm feeling down or if I'm struggling in school, which I really do not like doing, I love to come to club, and they just help me overcome that and feel better.
Learning from home and having to transition so suddenly was not only was it unexpected, but it was also frightening. The youth find comfort in things that they know of and routine, and when you take that routine away, it really just brings an environment of constant anxiety and stress, and having to move online, and some people don't have the best computers or the best internet, and that really just makes it all the more stressful of whether or not will I be able to make it to the meeting. And also there's another aspect of having a full household and being the older person and the older sibling and having to go and help others, your siblings get into classes, and just having to balance things you never thought you'd have to balance as a student.
I expected it to be just a short time of isolation. When it got too much, that's when I started having problems, especially just being by myself for a long period of time, which I don't think I was ready for that. Therefore, I started to contact other people online. During weaving, I make a mistake, but I cannot give my mistake into the camera to my teacher and ask her for help. So I think that's the only problem we have.
It was so hard having those 6 months of no theater, no nothing. I think what really gives me life is being able to interact with others. I'm definitely an extrovert. And so having that taken away really reinforced how important it is for me to be participating in extracurricular activities. It's giving me a positive outlet to express my creativity.
I'm not gonna lie, it was really stressful, really hard to deal with that. But actually club has been really amazing. I remember what I was looking forward to every single day during quarantine was those 3 o'clock Zoom meetings, doing activities that you wouldn't think you'd be able to do being in quarantine and doing that fun stuff. But that was so amazing to do, and I'd love to do it. To all the educators and people that work in after school programs, thank you for going through these tough times. I know it's probably definitely been hard, but I'm glad you were able to persevere, and a lot of these kids need you, and I'm glad you were able to be there for them.
Thank you. You really helped build a safe place for students to flourish, and without that, the future might be a little bit more hard to see and look forward to.
I'd like to thank you for providing us with the materials that we needed. And I also wanted to thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn more about my culture.
A huge thank you to all the teachers, especially those who do extracurriculars. I know that these teachers, they're doing it for the kids. They're not getting that much out of it. Their salary isn't that high. They're really doing it because they love the kids. And just know that you're really helping us. I know that having my director being able to help me through the challenges in my life, and just knowing as a teacher and having someone that if something were to happen, there's someone I could go to if I needed help. And that just knowing that there's somebody who cares about us and who sees that we have talent and potential.
Our city and state leaders are making brave and important decisions to protect our communities. We are so grateful for their hard work in this challenging time, and we're delighted they value after school as an essential service. And now here are a few more messages from these amazing after-school champions.
My name is Dr. Sonia Galavis. I'm a 5th grade teacher and STEM coordinator at Garfield Elementary in Boise, Idaho.
Throughout COVID-19, after-school programs and employees have stepped up in various ways to provide support to school communities. From helping with on-site support services to working extended summer hours, I'm grateful for all the ways that our after-school professionals have offered their support and expertise to students and families throughout the COVID-19 crisis.
Each and every one of us knows the vital role that after-school programs play for kids and families, especially over the last challenging 7 months. Whether providing access to meals, on-site emergency childcare, enriching summer camps, or ongoing connection through virtual platforms, after-school and summer professionals have shown their dedication in meeting the needs of students and their families.
You provide high-quality before and after school programming, which creates a safe space for students to learn and grow, and an area where they can receive social emotional supports, mentorship, and specific programming for various interests.
I can't emphasize enough how important after-school programs are. It allows us to elaborate upon a spark that a child may have, either in the STEM field or in the arts or in athletics. It gives us the room and the freedom to do things a little bit differently than we might do during the school day. It is a singular way that I can provide access and opportunity to every kid within my school, and every family member can access something in the evening and on weekends, and that has high interest for the student and the family. This is a way that we can help bridge some of the gaps that exist in access, and it also is a way that we can build community together. Through after-school programs, we are able to develop relationships with families, build aspirations, and hopefully develop some really strong interests in different STEM capacities that will change a child's life potentially.
Thank you all for working in our school communities by partnering with families and school leaders to create safe spaces before and after school. Your passion and dedication to equity and for all students help us ensure that they achieve their full potential. Thank you again.
All of you have stepped up in a time of crisis and are real heroes from the front lines. Know that I'm in your corner all the way when it comes to pushing for full funding of these key programs. Every child needs support during these unprecedented times, and I can't thank you enough for the hard work you do to make this happen.
In 2020, we witnessed after-school program staff turn on a dime. These creative, resilient, and resourceful learners have faced uncertainty in funding, building space, safety, and health, yet they have still stuck to their mission to expand learning opportunities and support for children and youth. In this next segment, we'll hear program leaders share their stories, what they've learned, and what they're going through. We know this is a small sample of their incredible work happening in programs nationwide. And I am pleased to welcome our panelist of 2020.
Hello, my name is Veronica Walletto-D. Crane, and I am a school-based TTA specialist with the National Native Children's Trauma Center.
Good afternoon, my name is Chris Ewald. I'm a SEL specialist in Washoe County School District, Reno, Nevada.
Hello, I'm Flo Trujillo. I'm New Mexico After School Ambassador Emeritus and recently retired from the Youth Services Coordinator position at the Farmington Public Library.
My name is Melissa Kowalski, and I'm the Chief Program Officer for ICANN Positive Programs for Youth in Chandler, Arizona.
My name is Marcus. I am from the Boys and Girls Club of the Umpqua Valley, and that's in Roseburg, Oregon, and I serve as the Education Director here.
I'm going to start with the first question, and I'm going to direct this straight to Veronica. Let's start with the good news. What has inspired you this year as your program has pivoted in how it operates?
I'd have to say that the passion and drive of the after-school professionals, they have this love for the kids and the young adults that they work with, and it's really been pushing them to try to find innovative ways to meet the needs of those that they're working with in the communities that they're in. And so despite the barriers that they're facing with technology and being distant distanced from the young people that they're working with. And despite the fear around the COVID-19 and the grief that some of them might be experiencing right now, they are resilient and they keep coming back and they keep trying to navigate the uncertainty that they're dealing with right now.
The enthusiasm of our community, not only in our local area, but across the state. It seems like everyone is jumping in to help our students connect to the internet and try to find ways to train them. And New Mexico is a rural area, so finding that connectivity in the Navajo Nation is a little more difficult than most other places. But the enthusiasm of the statewide partnerships that we have been amazing.
It's been so fantastic to see our team really come together and being able to adapt and make adjustments. And here in Arizona, school starts really soon. So a typical school year starts at the end of July. And so things from everything from our food program to everything really had to go pretty quickly. And a lot quicker than other parts of the nation, and the team just really came together, as well as the support of the community and helping out in different ways. And our partnership with the school really helped being able to make that as seamless as possible.
We've taken the hardships that have been placed in front of us, and we've grown, we've blossomed as an organization, problem solving everything that's been thrown at us, from the problems in our local community, like wildfires that were happening just a couple weeks ago, to things happening at the state level as far as funding, and just making the best out of it and just adapting and adapting and adapting. I'm so proud of our organization just for their ability to just take what's been given to us and make the best out of it.
What adjustments have you made in your program and how you serve your kids?
In Washoe County, we have a team of 4 SEL specialists that serve 64,000 students and about 3,800 professionals or teachers. So our COVID journey has been a challenge, but I'm proud to say that I feel very good about the way that we've responded to the pandemic and our flexibility. So adjustments, our journey began back in March, as most of everybody, with school closures. And we worked to embed our SEL signature practices into distance learning curriculum. They're a really great way to create positive climate and culture in the classroom. So we figured that needs to continue at home. We took our 3 signature practices, which are optimistic openers or welcoming and inclusion activities, as well as engaging brain breaks and reflective closers. And we use those to establish routines that can be completed at home and kind of provide some structure for kids to start their day, transition throughout their day, and in their day. And we got a lot of good feedback from it. Families really enjoyed that structure and routine because it's healthy for the kids and their brains as they learn at home. So that was really great. And to kind of like bolster that, we realized that parents, who are now the facilitators of education at home, may not know what these signature practices are. So we created a short video explaining those 3 SEL signature practices, and it's embedded on our website, and we shared it with the community. So everybody was on the same page as the SEL team when doing distance learning.
Knowing that a lot of times virtual isn't an option for our families due to technology limitations. They may have a computer, but they may have 5 children in the household. And so how do you have an activity where maybe there's just one computer and there's multiple people needing to use it? So a lot of our activities were packaged and for families to take up or to pick up with our local school district when they were already going to be there to pick up meals for their kids. So we provided the same activities that they would do in our ICANN facility, but they would pick them up at the schools when they were picking up their meals, so they could still have the same youth development activities.
There's a variety of different ways that programs are being affected. Some of them have had to completely shut down because of the high number of cases in their communities, and even their own staff members in their programs contracting COVID-19. And so they've had to shut down when last week they were open, and this week they have to completely shut down. And then we have some programs that have the capability of being virtual, and so they're able to continue to work with their young people in this way. And then we have some programs in Montana, because of just how rural we are as well, is just not having the bandwidth or the infrastructure to be able to provide technology program through virtual means. And so we have program staff who are reaching out to kids through phones, through phone calls, and they're also reaching out to them by delivering packets and delivering like activities like take and go activities, take and make activities, just kind of having these little kits that they're able to send home to them, send home with them. And so we've really seen just program people trying to make the best out of the situation that they have, and not knowing whether or not their situation is going to change, whether or not they're going to have to no longer be in person. And so that's something that they're struggling with, and they're just adapting to what it is that they're experiencing from week to week.
What new partners have you engaged with during this time?
One of the new partners that I really think is important to mention is the food hubs. Many of our food hubs help us distribute the take and go STEAM activities that are available from statewide partners. New Mexico PED and New Mexico Out of School Time Network together work with Boys and Girls Clubs and 21st Century Community Learning Centers, and making these available across the state. It's one of the safest ways to do it. The food hubs are out in the community at growers markets, and they are also distributing food in the Navajo Reservation and in the rural communities where people do come in. But we do offer in those kits the STEAM and their hands-on activities, but we also include a book. We feel that literacy is very important, so we try to include a book, and we do offer the bilingual book if possible.
The first people that we reached out to and really reinvigorated our relationship with them was just the parents of the youth that we serve, their guardians, and just strengthening that relationship, especially when there was that big transition happening in the spring, when everything was changing for everyone to virtual learning and all this kind of stuff. And so reaching out to families and just making sure they were good, that they had the resources that they needed. After school organizations, nonprofit organizations can just do everything. I'm so proud that I get to be with you guys on this panel, but to hear everything that everyone's organizations and how they just reach out and just are a safety net for the community.
What do you think the future of your after-school programs are going to look like?
I think that one thing that we found during the summertime, especially with smaller ratios, was the benefit of smaller ratios. That is something that we want to continue to strive for.
SEL wasn't big before the pandemic started, but once summer hit and we had kids in the building again, that became a cornerstone of our programming, was checking in with kids and just asking them, how are you doing? What are you feeling? Staff members weren't asking those questions before, and now we're asking them, and we're getting the kids to say, I'm mad right now, or I'm sad, I'm disappointed, and being okay with that and sitting with that. Even if you're angry, it's cool. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset.
I like the empowerment of our youth, because the virtual world was an opportunity of how the communities are engaging with youth, especially in the platform and in many of the platforms that were mostly made for adults. I really like the virtual learning as an opportunity for kids to learn speaking and public speaking, and also presentation skills that they may be able to use with STEAM or STEM in their science fair projects, and engaged in one-on-one with young adult mentors also.
I think I'm just proud of the way that after-school programs have responded to student needs and how they've prioritized the basic needs of students. So what I've seen in Montana, for example, the Northern Cheyenne Boys and Girls Club in Lame Deer, Montana, partnered with their Northern Cheyenne Nation to be that food hub. So they just really rose to meet these basic needs that families have, prioritizing that before some of the academic needs that our kids may be struggling with right now. And so I'm just really proud that our after-school programs, because of the relationships they previously had to families and the connections they previously had in the community, their presence and their engagement in the community, they just naturally became that hub in their communities.
I want to thank everyone for being here. Veronica, Chris, Flo, Melissa, and Marcus, you guys are simply amazing and are doing amazing things for the community. Your passion is evident and inspiring. Thank you for sharing your guys' stories.
After-school programs are essential for youth and families for many reasons. Preserving culture, providing a safe environment, and building skills and preparing young people for the future. Let's hear now from one last set of incredible state after-school champions.
Aloha, my name is Michelle Kidani. I'm the state senator from my district of Nililani. I'm also the vice president of the Hawaii State Senate, and I chair the education committee.
Hi, my name is Claire Wilson, and I'm a senator in the state of Washington for the 30th Legislative District, and that sits outside the city of Seattle.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales, Lieutenant Governor of the state of New Mexico, and I'm so proud to be here with each one of you.
Greetings, I'm Senator Kathy Giesel. I am a senator in Alaska, and I'm currently the Senate President in Alaska.
All of my children and all of my grandchildren, do some kind of after-school program. And I myself did it way back 50-something years ago. And during this pandemic, I'm Zooming with friends from after-school programs way back then. All of us have a need to be close to each other.
I'm so grateful for the opportunities that after-school programs have offered to me. Growing up in a small rural community in New Mexico, I didn't have many resources. My father was a miner. He didn't graduate from high school, so there was some extra challenges that were there in attaining employment. But he was very involved in activities and programming. My mother was an educational assistant, and so when you look to see what was available for us at a young age, it really was activities and after-school programs that helped drive the academic interest that once came throughout the schooling system.
I have 3 older sisters and a younger brother. All of us were involved in clubs or activities. I was a Girl Scout from the time I was in 2nd grade. But I also had the opportunity to go to camp every year. And I know in my family it was a really expensive thing to do. But it was the one thing that my mom and dad did for every single one of us, because they knew how important being out on our own and learning about leadership and about independence and how important that was in growing up.
The after-school programs offer so much opportunity to learn, because we have to recognize that learning comes in all forms, in all places, not just the 4 walls of a classroom. And so as an educator myself and advocating for education legislation, I've always felt that we've focused too much on student achievement or student proficiency scores, when all along we should be focusing on student engagement.
It helps them so much with just that ability to connect with their friends, have some kind of productive activity, the physical exercise. They also get help with their homework. So it's just a huge impact, very, very positive for those kids.
After-school programs, you cannot live in this world without them. They are a critical piece to this puzzle, and they always have been. As we think about children and we think about families and we think about communities, and schools have been the place where children have been cared for. But when we look at family structure and we look at working families, school time is not enough, and children need to have care that's safe before school. They need to have care that's safe after school. They need to have opportunity. They need to have a place for their voice. They need a place to find friends and to be part of a community to live and to grow.
There's a saying, no man is an island. And I think children, as they're growing, they have to feel the need. I mean, they need the camaraderie, but they need to feel loved. And you can learn more when you feel comfortable and safe. And if they don't have the tools that they need to make great decisions and to build the camaraderie and their group of friends that surround them. We leave them to other destinies.
In 2014, Alaska commercialized, made available publicly marijuana. It was done through a citizens initiative. We, of course, placed a tax on this product. My concern was that marijuana would become more available to our young people, and we know the negative effects of marijuana on young people, on their brains, on the development, and that impact is lifelong. And so the focus I had was to take some of this tax money and put it into after-school programs where they would be exposed to positive role models. So as a consequence, actually over $6 million a year is designated for after-school programs in Alaska.
To me, it's extremely personal knowing the impact that this can have. If we have more opportunities for well-rounded students, that is the goal of education, is to learn how to learn. What we can do to provide these well-rounded opportunities is so critical. That's what's made our country so great, is all the opportunities that were given to students, whether it was in auto mechanics, whether it was in the trade fields, or if it was in the math and the sciences. That's what made us great, and we have to continue to remember that it's a well-balanced approach. In addition, I spent over a decade in healthcare as well. I was a hospital administrator, and the best results that we saw for healing in healthcare was mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and socially. Same goes for learning, same goes for the human potential. Capitalize on all those well-balanced approaches, and you capitalize on the potential of human beings.
I don't care who we are, where we come from, our kids are our most important treasure, and they're not a possession, they're a treasure. And if we were actually a country that cared about kids and families, and we understood the issues of disproportionality and the issues of privilege and institutional racism and bias, then we would understand how important it is that all people start with the same access, the same opportunity, and the same voice. And until that happens, it's our job to continue to support and make sure that we are providing those pathways and those doorways. I continue to ask, especially during COVID-19, where are the children? And if they're not in classrooms, where are they? And if they're at home, are they safe? And if they're at home with families, are their families feeling like they're able to give them what they need and provide the resources and the support when they're under stress? And it's critically important now more than ever before that we answer that question, is where are the children? And it is our job to take care of them and to provide resources wherever they are. And we've always brought children into school, and now we have to bring school to children, and we have to think about that in a very, very different way than we've ever done before.
This is a challenging year for all of us with this virus, and I just want to extend thanks to not only the teachers in our schools, but the teachers in the after-school programs. You know, one of the things that's been very evident is those adults have a real love for these kids and a real love for the mission of after school, of encouraging the students and helping them through this very challenging time. Adults themselves are feeling anxiety and uncertainty, and these adults want to help kids feel that ongoing security, that everything will be okay and that they are there for the kids. That's just huge, and I just thank them sincerely from the bottom of my heart.
The work that you do is far more than just an occupation. It's a ministry, and it's a profession that is making a difference every single day in people's lives. I look back at people in my life like Mr. Fred Baca, who opened up the gymnasium on a Saturday afternoon for us kids from the poor side of town to get a chance to play. But then he integrated the education component of it. What you do is you're showing what education should do all along, is to show that kindness, that compassion, and that love for one another. And I can't say it enough just how grateful that I am for the work that each of you does, because you are making significant changes for people all across this country.
Thank you for being part of the Open Minds, Open Spaces Town Hall for After School. It's clear that after-school programs are engaging and supporting children and youth across the West Coast. The power of this community is truly amazing.
And now you have an opportunity to join colleagues from your states for a real celebration. Check the link on the screen to find your state's rally. These will be special presentations and some very special guests.
We hope we have inspired you to keep up the important work you're doing. On behalf of the Open Minds, Open Spaces Organizing Committee, thank you. I'm Caitlin Kinahan.
And I'm Ivory Ward. Good night.